All right, students, let's take the next step on percentages. We know that the word percent means out of 100. Per means out of, cent means 100. So when I see 81%, 81% means 81 out of 100. And 9% means 9 out of 100. Now I know how to change a fraction into a decimal. You change a fraction into a decimal by taking the numerator, 81, and dividing it by the denominator, 100. And I get 0.81. Let's do the same thing with 9 out of 100 is 0.09. Now suppose what I wanted to do is go straight from the percentage to the decimal. Can I leave the fraction out in between? If I want to change 81%, I'll think of 81% as 81 with the decimal point there. And if I want to change that percentage into a decimal, I move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. 81% is 0.81 as a decimal because the decimal point moves 2 spots to the left. Why do I move 2 spots to the left? The 2 spots to the left is the same as dividing by 100 with 2 zeros in it. Let's try that again with 9%. If I want to change 9% into a decimal, 9% has the decimal point there. Now move it 2 spots to the left. 2 spots to the left. Well, if I move it 2 spots to the left, I'll have room for a 0 between the decimal point and the 9. 9% becomes 0.09 because you move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. Why do you move it 2 spots to the left? That's the same as dividing by 100 that has 2 zeros. Now, let's dress these up and call that 0.81 and 0.09. Here's what your homework problems will look like. Write each percent as a decimal. If you start with 53%, think of that as 53 with the decimal point there. Then move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. Is 0.53. 53% is 0.53. 80%, move the decimal point 2 spots to the left, is 0.80. Put a 0 in front of that. That's an acceptable answer, although when you have a 0 here, you don't even have to write it. You could also write that as 0.8. I would take either answer as full credit. 4%, start with the decimal point here. To change a percent into a decimal, you move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. When I move 2 spots to the left, notice that there's room for a 0 between the decimal point and the 4. 4% is 0.04. Now, when you do your homework, all you need to do is write down the problem and the final answer. This you do in your head. Write down 53% is 0.53, and 4% is 0.04, and 9% is 0.09. Why? Well, 9%, the decimal point starts there. We move it 2 spots to the left. That leaves room for a 0 between the decimal point and the 9. This one's kind of strange. 100%. If the decimal point starts there, and I always move the decimal point 2 spots to the left, that would put the decimal point right next to the 1. 100% is the same as 1. 4% is 0.04. 53% is 0.53. 144% Again, I'm always going to move the decimal point. I'm always going to move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. That'll put it between the 1 and the 4. 144% becomes 1.44. 85.9%, move that decimal point twice, becomes 0. The decimal point is right next to the 8, 0.859. When you work your homework problems, you write the problem down, put the answer next to it. This step is optional. 21.2%, move the decimal point twice, becomes 0.212. All right, your turn. Go work some homework problems and then meet me back here.